Hey there, jet ski fans, and welcome to another video. I finally did it. I got the X2 out on the water and tested it. I didn't get to actually take it for a test drive, but I got to start it and work out a few bugs. I also figured out what the problem has been with the hard starting ever since I put this engine back together. It's not necessarily a good thing, but it is good to know what it is. This is going to be a long one. Let's get into it. It's currently 1:30 a.m. Sunday morning. I am exporting Sunday's video and also trying to get the X2 ready to take it out on the water for some testing on the back of the truck. I've been doing some work and I realized that I actually have to modify the hood a little bit. So the air inlet on the right and left side, this and this, both interfere. The one on the right hand side interferes with the inlet cover right here, and the one on the left hand side interferes with the water injection line. I chopped a few little pieces off and now my hood fits. I'm going to do a proper trim job on this at some other time, but I'm trying to get ready to go out onto the water, so I'm not going to do that right now. To say I'm a little bit nervous would be a huge understatement, but this is what's happening. I've got the carrier on the back of the truck and I'm going to try to go out to a lake. It's a little bit sketchy. I don't have the scoop on for the inlet, but if water goes in here, it's supposed to drain out here or over here, but we will see. Guess who's nervous about doing this all of a sudden? Now that I've refinished the bottom of the hull, kinda don't want to tear it all to bits. Well, it took a little bit of doing, but I got it on there, nothing damaged. So now I gotta grab my wetsuit, my life jacket, a towel, some other stuff, and head to the lake. Pine Coulee, here we come. Wow, the water level looks low. Holy crap, why is the water level so low? What a struggle getting a wetsuit on, especially when you haven't done it in a while. That was quite the workout. I'm going to try to fire the X2 up on the truck before I back into the water, because if it starts as hard as it did yesterday, I might be going home. You guys are in a chest mount. I hope that works out. We're going to try to get this going. Uh-oh. Oh my God, it's icy. I am so sad that I forgot my booties. Oh my God, my feet are froze already. I'm just editing this video and I wanted to jump in here and say that I'm not a complete moron, maybe just a little bit of a moron, but my feet were so cold and so painful that I could hardly think here. I knew that something was going on not quite right, but I was having a hard time processing exactly what that was. So just give me a few minutes to figure it out. We got a bad situation here, folks. My feet are absolutely frozen already. They are painfully, like, they're sore. And there's no dock. Yeah, the only way I can test the X2 is actually riding it around a little bit. I don't like this. It doesn't seem to have much torque, or any torque, for some odd reason. Maybe it just wasn't deep enough in the water. Oh. I'm wondering why it's not getting any cooling. It's because I have the rug underneath it. So it was heating and I can see steam coming out the pisser there. It's because I've put a mat underneath, it can't suck the water in. Okay, that's good news. Oh my god, my feet. Oh, my feet are so sore. There's rocks in my shoes and they're freezing. Oh my god, it's so bad. I'm gonna cut this section out so that I can leave it strapped to the truck and try to do some testing. The carpet actually got sucked up into the pump because I had the carpet running over the bottom and got pulled up hard enough it broke the intake grate. So 2 arms on the intake grate are broken. Intake grate broken. Not sure if you guys can see that. There we go. There's some thrust. Okay folks, it's cooling now and this thing is gonna be absolute. Oh man, the torque is unreal. It's trying to move my whole truck. I just got news from Stephanie. She had a bad crash on her bicycle and perforated her stomach with the end of her handlebar. That's not what I needed to make this day better. I killed my battery. I don't know where my booster cables are. It obviously has a serious starting issue. There's something wrong with this engine. I thought maybe it'd work itself out as I rode it, but there's obviously something wrong. It doesn't want to start, and I hoped it would work, but it was kind of stupid driving all the way out here. There's no dock. The water is like ice cold. It is, I feel like there's nails sticking in my feet. There's rocks in my shoes, which makes it even worse. The X2 is cooling. That is good. I'm glad I actually had it running on the back of the truck, and it is cooling. It just, yeah, I don't know what was going on. I don't know why it was blowing out steam, but that's good. It seems like it's going to be an absolute beast. Like even with this impeller is not the stock X2 one, but it's a straight 16 impeller on it. And it seems like it would break the strap, damage something on this ski, or move the truck if I floored it. Like I was giving it maybe half throttle. This thing is insane. I just stopped to get something to eat. This day's only getting better. My key fell off of my key ring inside of my truck, and I locked my truck. So now I'm outside of Tim Hortons with food. I can't get in my truck. When you've got bad luck, you've got bad luck. For the first time in my life, I just purchased an AMA membership. They're going to be here in about, well, they're going to head this way in about an hour and a half. So I've got to wait out in the parking lot, just chilling here on the X2 and eating a sandwich. I guess things could be worse. There's 2 hours of my life that I can't get back. Yeah, so AMA came and got in my truck. I never thought I'd be so happy to be home. So I'm gonna try to lift this off with the cable hoist and put the scale on it and see how much it weighs, just out of curiosity. It's at 0. 343.3 pounds. I took the battery charger off and put the seat on, and now I'm not touching it. 156.6. That is 344 pounds. 0.2. I just looked it up, and apparently the dry weight is 282 pounds. I think I weighed it before with a full tank of fuel, and it was around 340. I think I still have a photo of the scale when I was weighing it. But either way, it's right in that ballpark. I am really happy with that weight. I thought it was going to be quite a bit more than that. I kind of feel like maybe the center cylinder is good and the front and back are bad. Could be head gasket. Probably not. Could be head gasket, or it could be that I screwed up when I was boring out the cylinders. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to have more than 25 PSI. That would explain a lot. It is possible that this gauge is reading a little bit low because it is a cheap Amazon gauge. but the most important thing is that the cylinders are close together, and this is clearly not close together. The mag cylinder was 25 or maybe 30, and this one is like 93. So the engine's gonna have to come apart. As much as that is kind of bad news, I'm glad that I'm finally finding something that explains what is happening. All right, it's currently 4:41 p.m. and I'm gonna start tearing this thing apart. Thought I would point out the time just so I can see how much time it actually takes me to tear the head off. Took me 5 minutes to get the nuts off. It'll probably take me another 5 to pull the hoses off because they're on there pretty good. I guess with a screwdriver they come off pretty easy. Oh, I know why. It's because it got so hot. Well, this is quite unfortunate. I was right about what is wrong with this engine, and I kind of knew this for some time. I was just checking everything else and hoping that it would be something else and not this. Way back in late December, early January, when I was having trouble starting this, I said, this has been quite a head scratcher. I think I might know what it is, but I've been ignoring it all along. I think that these two cylinders might not have been bored properly. I ended up doing the boring myself, and I was using a Lisle rigid hone, and I was having some troubles with the hone, and I think it might have bored them slightly out of round. Lisle ended up replacing the parts of my hone that were faulty, and it worked a little bit better, but I think by then I might have already made these out of round because I was impatient. Now that the piston rings have run in the bore, it's pretty obvious that there are major issues with the cylinder bores. This shiny patch here that you can see that looks like a triangle, that is actually where the ring is making contact, and the ring is not making contact in the rest of the cylinder. So that's how bad the contact patch is. You can see in the center cylinder, the contact is all the way through. Still not perfect, but it's way better. It's now an hour later and I'm ready to pull the engine out. I took a few things off that I didn't necessarily need to take off, like the magneto cover, but I decided to take it off anyway. I'm gonna pull the engine out as is and then pull the cylinders off. It is 6 p.m. and I have the engine out and on the bench. I've got the cylinder unbolted and ready to pull off. And it's quite clear now why it doesn't have a compression. There are huge areas where the ring is not making contact. The center cylinder is much better. So, I'm pretty sure I pointed out in all of my videos where I was boring out my own cylinders that it was a bad idea and recommended that nobody else do this. I'm not sure if it would have turned out with the Lisle hone even if the hone wasn't bad. I think part of the issue here is that these are fairly large bore cylinders, and also they are two-stroke cylinders, so there's a lot of ports in them. The hone stones don't necessarily wear evenly, and with the machinery that I don't have, I was going to say with the machinery that I do have, but with the machinery that I have, I'm not able to, one, monitor the bore properly. I don't have a proper bore gauge, I just have snap gauges, and they only check 2 positions on the cylinder. So they don't check to see if it's out of round, you have to check it in a bunch of, anyway. Without getting too deep into that, I don't have the tools to bore it properly or check it properly, and so I was fairly certain that this was the case just by using the snap gauges to check the... My cat might be in trouble. My cat was having a squabble with the neighbor's dog through the fence, so I had to go take care of that. As I was saying, I don't have the proper tools to bore these cylinders, to hone them out, or to monitor them or check them properly. I don't have the proper gauges to make sure that it's round. I was fairly certain that they weren't, but I thought I would give it a try anyway. I have done this successfully in the past. I did it with my 650 cylinders and I ran that. It had, I think at the highest I was running at 180 PSI. It had no problems with the bore. And I think the difference here, I was fairly certain that the finish on the cylinders were going to be pretty bad after I was done boring them out. And so I left 40 thousandths or 1 millimeter behind and planned on honing that out with the rigid hone. The issue was that the rigid hone was actually defective from the start, and I removed a bunch of material before I found that out. So then to try to get them back, even once the hone was working properly, I had started with an out of round cylinder and it just couldn't get it back at that point. So a lot of that was my fault. All of it's my fault because I decided to bore my cylinders out by myself. It would have cost me less than the amount that I spent on tools, probably half as much as I spent on tools. I could have had the cylinders bored out for me and they would have turned out perfect. That's what I would suggest anyone else do, but I wanted to do it myself, and I had done it successfully on my 650, as I've already said before, but it looks like I'm out of luck with this. So the problem with 1100 cylinders is that you're actually only supposed to bore them to 82 millimeters, which is 2 millimeters oversize. That is what I have this bored out to. So in order to go to the next size up, I would actually have to re-sleeve it. Which then would make more sense just to go back to the standard size piston. Sleeves are about $100 a piece. It would cost me several $100s to have it sleeved and bored out. So what I actually did is I went on eBay and I ordered a other set of cylinders. So hopefully the cylinders get here pretty quickly. They are supposed to only show up around the 1st of June. I contacted the eBay seller and asked if he could send them to me quicker, offered to pay extra shipping, and he said that he would ship them out today and that they shouldn't be that long. I have horrible luck when it comes to this sort of stuff, so we'll probably get them broken in half in July, but fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Absolute best case scenario, I get lucky. It only takes a week to get these cylinders. Then I would have to check the cylinders, see if they are actually stock bore, which it claims in the ad. If they are, I can order stock bore or standard bore pistons. It'll take about a week to get those. If it is not standard bore and I want to go first oversize, I would then have to order first oversized pistons and then send all that stuff away to have it bored out, which would take another week. So it looks like a bare minimum 3 weeks before I can even start putting this thing back together. In the meantime, I'm going to be doing some more work on it, and I'll probably do some work on the 750 Super Sport that I bought last year. Hopefully I can get that sorted out, take it out for a few test drives, and then sell it to recoup some of my money. I may also be doing some work on the trailer and try to think of what I'm going to do with the ZXi 1100. But yeah, only so much time. That is going to do it for this one. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for supporting my videos. I will see you next time.